Today was rough. Euro USD, 2 trades, both losses. I did everything right and the market still took nearly $5,000 from me. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I am frustrated, but I'm going to show you exactly what happened because this is what real trading looks like. So I started the morning the same way as I always do. Marked the 4-hour range on Euro USD. First candle of the day fully closed. New York time as always. High line at the top, low line at the bottom. That was the map for this session. Then I dropped down to the 5-minute chart and I was watching. Euro USD started climbing and pushed above the range high. The candle closed outside, full body above the level, not just a wick poking through. That was the first part of the sequence, so I'm intrigued. Now I'm watching this. The next candle closed back inside the range. Right there was the confirmation. What had just happened was a stop hunt. Price reached above the range high, triggered buy stops, and grabbed everyone who was waiting on a breakout, and then got rejected back inside. The failed breakout was the setup. That was my short signal, so I checked the MACD before touching anything, and it was negative. The zero line was above the signal line. Momentum was already pointing down. The setup was saying short and the momentum was saying short. That was full confluence. Everything lined up. I sized in a bit heavier than my usual percentage because honestly the setup was as clean as they come. Entry went in on the close of the candle back inside the range right here. Stop loss sat at the high of the breakout candle. My take profit stays at 2R as always. Price dipped right after entry. Looked exactly like it was supposed to. I watched it push toward the range high, break above it, and hit my stop loss. Clean exit, maximum loss. At this point in the day, I sat back and took a breath and I kept watching. Nothing to adjust, nothing to fix. It was a valid trade that just lost. First trade of the day already in the red, and at this point this is very frustrating, but I keep watching. The same range was still active. I stayed on the chart. Candle closed outside. The next candle closed back inside the range. The exact same sequence as the first trade. Another short signal. The MACD was still negative. Momentum still pointing down. I knew I was already down on the day, but the setup was there. Same structure, same confluence, and I never skip a valid setup just because of a losing trade to start the day. So I took the trade. Entry on the close back inside the range, stop at the high of the breakout, target at 2R, same trade, same rules. Price moved down for a bit and then started curling back up, and it just walked straight through the range high, hit my stop loss, and before I even had time to process what I was seeing, Euro USD did the same thing twice to me in the same session on 2 different setups. So I closed the chart. I was done for the day. 2 shorts, 2 stops, nearly $5,000 on the day down. I was not happy. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm perfectly zen about losing nearly $5,000 in one session, because I'm not. It's frustrating, especially when I did everything right and the market just didn't play along. That feeling doesn't go away no matter how long you've been doing this. But here's what I know. Losing days are part of trading. A strategy doesn't prove itself in one day. It proves itself over hundreds of trades, over hundreds of days. 2 losses on a valid setup isn't a reason to scrap the entire strategy, and that's something most beginners struggle with. They take 2, maybe 3 losses, get in a losing streak with one strategy, and immediately think that the strategy is bad. Now, what will be a problem for me is if I let today push me into tomorrow's session thinking that I have something to prove. Then that's when bad decisions is going to happen. So my plan for tomorrow is to get into the market the same way as I always do. I'm going to size down a bit because $5,000 is the biggest trading loss of the year for me so far. So I'm going to take my time and climb out of this hole slowly but surely. The one thing I'll flag about today is sizing up when I was already frustrated. That is not a good habit. Not saying it caused the losses today because it didn't. The setups were clean either way, but going heavier with more size when I'm already on edge is the kind of thing that quietly makes losing days harder to recover from mentally. By the way, if you're starting out and you want somewhere to practice putting all of this into work, Exness is the platform I trade on. Solid execution, reliable platform, and you can start building real screen time with as little as $10. The link will be down below. Always remember, the market doesn't owe you anything for following the rules, but the rules are still the only thing worth following.